Okay, I'm going to assume we're recording, and surprised I don't see the red light, but here we go. Anyway, welcome today, now that we're all here, to Pilates for Swarthmore. And this is an intermediate level class in the classical Pilates tradition. And we're actually at the last class for the spring semester. There'll be a break after this class, and we start up again June 8th. So I hope you'll use the videos in the YouTube library for Swarthmore's Health and Recreation Department's Wellness and Recreation to continue your practice while we're separated for this next month or so. In any case, we're going to start here having a seat and then roll back right into your upper up curl for hundreds. You can pull one leg in, hold onto the back of the thigh, pull the other leg in, squeeze the legs together, come up deep into the curve, extend the legs forward and out to your working level. That means that your abs should fill up, but your back should not. And we start pressing the arms up and down in the air here. It's a steady pulse, a steady beat. So hundreds got its name because you're supposed to pump 100 times with the arms. Inhale for 5 beats and exhale for 5 more. After 10 sets, you've achieved 100 pumps. We don't always do that. Sometimes we go longer, sometimes we go less. I really look to see what my clients are feeling and how that works for them. One of the main issues could be the back of the skulls. You may need to take one hand or both hands behind the back of the neck or lay your head down to give yourself a little rest if this is something that's new for you. Keep reaching out through your fingertips, lengthen through the arms, lengthen through the legs. Find your gaze fixed on your navel, and with your inhale, watch the whole body expand. With your exhale, feel the whole body knit in together and the belly will drop down and in towards your spine. Let's just do 2 more breaths. Deep inhale here, floating the head up. And exhale, pulling the belly down, knit the navel in towards your spine here. Press your waist into the ground. And another breath. And then you can fold your legs in, lay yourself down for roll up. We stretch the legs forward. We lift the arms up to the ceiling and let the weight of the shoulders sink. The arms go back, palms to the ceiling. And then we bring the arms up, lifting the head, neck, and shoulders. Exhale to bend the ribs off the ground. Dive forward, pulling the waist back. Stretch over your legs. And then lengthen out through your heels. The feet are flexed. And begin to curve the tail up through your legs. Roll down over the pelvic girdle, down over the spine, inch by inch, 1 vertebra at a time. And we lift to come up again. Shoulders fall, lift the head. Exhale, dive forward here. Rounding, curving the back, stretching forward. Feel that length in the back of your legs. If it's too much for your knees, soften them, bend them slightly. As you're coming back, the arms can go higher, giving you more challenge to maintain more control. When you go back, only take the arms back as far as you can go without lifting the arch of your back additionally. And we lift again. The arms lower will help you. The arms higher will challenge you. And then we'll go all the way back down. Curve your back into your mat. And then from there, circle the arms around for your single leg circles and stretches. We're going to begin with the right knee pulling into your chest, pull it in tight. If you feel that stretch in the low back on that side of your body and into the glute. And then you can release the leg slightly and we circle the knee to stir the thigh in the socket. So that's different from just moving the foot, right? We're holding the thigh steady. We're trying to move the femur, the thigh bone on the hip joint, and then reverse the circles. Keeping the body stabilized, right? The hip should be steady. The torso should be steady here on the ground. Even though you're moving the leg across the body and then out to the side. And then let's just lift that leg up and lower it down. Let's pull the other leg in. Pull it tight, reach out through the sits bone. And with one hand or both hands on your knee, you can circle the leg. Again, doing a little knee stir is what we call it here. It's a nice way to warm up your hip joint. And get some stretches into the muscles around that thigh, around that hip joint. Complete the circle and then reverse it. And then we can pull the leg in again, lift the leg up to the ceiling, and then lower it down. So after that little bit of a warm up, We'll pull the right leg in, lift it to the sky. Here you could use your TheraBand around your foot. And as you inhale, cross the leg over the left one. The right leg stretches medially across the left leg. Go down, out to the side, and bring it on up. If you had the TheraBand on the foot, you'd be anchoring your elbows down here at your side, pulling the elbows away from your ears to move the shoulders down and away from the neck. We begin this with an internal rotation, go neutral at the bottom, externally rotate as the leg goes out to the side, lift it to the top. Short inhale and a long exhale. So you feel the abdominal wall deepen and knit together. When you get to the top, you've used up all the exhale you have. Come all the way to the top here, reach up to the foot and reverse. Stretch it out, hold the left side grounded, circle the leg across, pull it up here, reach high, and stretch again. We're finding the movement of the leg and using it as a challenge to hold the body steady on the ground here. So I'm going to put more weight in the left side as the leg goes right and more weight in the right side as the leg moves to the left. One more circle. Keep reaching out, softening the toes, right? You don't want to overpoint them. And then we'll fold the knee in. And then let's switch the leg. So we can pull that leg in, lift it up, and we start crossing over the body. Short inhale and exhale. Around you go and lift it up. Reaching here and circling. Push the leg through the air, come up to the top and reach again. Circling it around. Feeling a little bit of the weight shift across the sacrum here. One more in this direction. And that long, slow exhale. Go to the top, reverse. Out to the side. Right side is heavy. Sweep it over and lift. The leg draws a beautiful circle in the air, and you try to reach past the edges of the circle you just drew. So each circle gets further and further away from the ground and further away from the hip joint. We're looking for length in the leg and mobility in the leg as well. Let's come up to the top and fold that leg in. From here, we roll forward and up, rolling like a ball. So we can pull the free leg in and up. And then as you lift your head, neck, and shoulders, exhale to rock forward to sit near the front of your mat. Wrap your hands around your shins. Easier would be hands to the thighs. And look down at the belly. We curl the tail up to help pick up the legs. Move the elbows forward to widen the shoulders on our back. And then round the waist back, lifting the tail and doing an upper up curl. Inhale to lift the tail to roll back to the shoulders. Exhale to come forward to your balance point. Try to draw a straight line with your spine down the mat and then up the mat. Keep looking down so that your neck and your head never touch the mat. We're trying to keep the neck safe here from the added pressure with the weight of your hips in the air. Looking, rolling back. Your inhale would end just about at the time when your shoulder blade tips touch. You exhale here and keep the exhale going to continue forward into the lift. One more. So a shorter inhale and then a longer exhale. Relaxes the nervous system, but also helps you rise. And now we'll move into the ab series. So the right hand goes to the right ankle, the left hand to the right knee. Push the left leg away and roll back to your best upper up curl. Elbows wide, head floating up and looking down. Push the leg up into your arms and push down. Feel that work in your tricep. And now inhale and we switch. The right leg shoots out long and the left leg pulls in tight and then switch, reversing that action. So it's an inhale for one leg to move and an exhale for the other leg to come into the body. Shoot the leg out as long as you can. Try to reach past the edges of your body into the space beyond you. Imagine you want to touch something. You desperately want to touch your feet to the wall and really reach for it to get that full length in the leg and full openness in your hips. We're going to pull both legs in and now double leg stretch. Legs are zippered together. Inhale, arms and legs lift up to the sky. You circle the arms wide as you embrace the legs in and you push the shins into your hands and vice versa. And then you stretch again and embrace the legs in. It's a big generous sweep of the arms. Notice that the gaze is still down. You can gradually start to take the arms and legs lower as long as you're not falling back. Right? We don't want to lose the upper up curl. We don't want to lose the position and organization of the spine here. We're challenging that strength by taking the legs lower and the arms lower and then embracing it in. Now from here, scissors, right leg up and left leg forward, look down your midline, and we switch the legs. If your hamstrings are tight, no worries. You can always bend the knee slightly as you lift it up, but straighten it as you press it out and down. When you can, though, you're working to keep the leg as straight as possible And as you lift through the heel, you're reaching down into your sits bone, which is the hamstring attachment. And with the left leg up, hands go behind your head as you pull the right leg up to meet it, double leg, lower lift. These get progressively harder as there's more load away from the center. Exhale, sink the belly and lift the legs up. So just know that, right? So you may want to pace yourself. You may want to take a little break here, laying the head down, maybe doing a stretch between some of the exercises in the series. As you advance, we roll through the whole series, typically an hour workout for the mat lessons, for the mat classes. We're doing it in 45, which is great. But we're trying to minimize the amount of rest that you get as your body advances through the program. And now we twist to the right, coming up and over and into the left, pulling yourself high up off the mat with the opposite shoulder blade as you reach your armpit to the contralateral knee. Just means the one on the opposite side, right? Feel this, really work your oblique abdominals and still try to stretch the leg out of the socket. The weight in the hip of the extended leg helps keep your body stable. At least you're grounded through the pelvic girdle here on the mat. Come back to center, lay it down, and you can stretch the arms back and the legs forward. Just stretch your body open, really enjoying that stretch in the front line, which you just, crunched up in all that upper ab work. Now from here, we'll lift it up, do another roll up to move into your spine stretch. So as you come up, you can open the legs and the arms stay forward, parallel here to the ground. Push the air down gently and float up through your halo and up through your heart. Look down. So you start not at the base of the neck at C7, you start at the occipital joint here, looking down, and then letting the head move the neck forward, and then the upper back, the mid back, and the low back. So you really pull from the top of your head out, over, and down, and then we're stacking from the tail and the bottom of the spine as you retract the body back and stack the vertebrae one by one. Coming upright and the shoulders are still relaxed. Looking down, dive the head forward. The whole spine curves after it, following the action of the head out, over, and down with the wave coming up out of the ocean and diving onto the beach. Pull your waist back even as you go forward and down. And again, here you can bend the knees as necessary. If the back line of your body, especially the hamstrings and low back, are tight, that'll feel much better for you. Also, if you are tight there, it's a big advantage to elevate the hips sitting on a cushion, a book, a folded blanket, a yoga block, whatever you have. Press down with your legs, sink down through your sits bones like they're bolted into the ground, and you lift to come up. We'll do one last one. Exhale all the way over. Try to pull your waist back and curve the spine into a C shape like a horseshoe, diving forward and over. And then we just hold here, breathe. Maybe pull the waist back and reach forward through the heels for a little more stretch in the calves. From this exercise, we're going to pull forward with the hips, bringing them towards the feet at the end of the mat. And you can reach hold either with the back of the thighs or hands through the legs to the upper shin right over the ankle. And then lift your feet as you curl the tail up, big upper ab curl, bend the body forward. Now the right leg extends up, you stretch it completely, and then exhale, fold the heel back in to the other heel. They connect, you feel the inside line of your leg, and then extend the left leg up. And then lower it down. As you're lifting the leg, think the shoulder blade melts down your back behind you, so there's no hunching of the shoulders just because you're extending at the knee. Lift the left leg up, reach here, get as much stretch as possible. And now we do both legs at the same time. Simultaneously extension, the legs just as wide as your chest or your shoulders maximum, and then bring it up and out. Pull your legs a little narrow and make them be aware of each other. You can even think of lines of magnets down the inside of your legs, reaching for each other as you hold them apart. Now, once the legs are up, we're going to roll back, open leg rocker, lift the tail and roll just to the shoulder blades. Exhale, come forward and up and find that balance point here. Trying to keep both the legs straight with the quads and the arms straight as well. The spine is curved, and that's what allows you to roll and rock, or rock and roll, as you might prefer. Taking it back, exhale, diving forward here. And one more time. If you notice that you're steering to one side, you want to think of working harder on the side that you're staring to, and your body can adjust even with that amount of like very minimal guidance, right? You don't have to micromanage your body, give it a goal and let it achieve it. So we're going to roll back and exhale, lift, close your legs together. You can slide your hands down your legs or lift the arms and go down with your spine. Curl the tail up, roll over the sacrum, pull down over the waist, the shoulders, the neck, the head for corkscrew. So here we circle the legs. Here's a good place to use TheraBand if you want a little extra support. They go over to the right, forward and around to the left. Complete the circle at the top and reverse for the next repetition. So you're going left, down, not too far down. Right? We're thinking that we're trying to keep the body grounded and calm and quiet on the mat. There's a shift in weight around the SI joints. You'll feel the weight shift from one glute to the other, from the edge of the sacrum to the opposite edge of the sacrum as you circle. But you're also working your core to keep the body from tipping at this point. As you advance, you will eventually tip the pelvis and the hips. But we want that to be with control and not just sort of random movement, because you're not controlling what's going on in your legs and your waist. We're going to end here going from right to left, complete the circle, and then end from left to right. So we end where we started. And then from this position, you'll come up, rocking forward and up. You might have to sit back, open the legs as wide as your mat, or even a little further if you wish for your saw. The arms come out to the side. We push the arms down and lift up through the head and the chest. Rotate to the right. The left arm crosses over. The right arm reaches back. The palm is up. And we dive forward, thinking of bringing the ear to the knee, the armpit to the inner thigh, and reach the back arm away from you. Really stretch the arms in opposite directions. Lift to come up, hold the rotation, unwind, and spiral dive and stretch it out. Now, as you're going over to the left, be sure that that right glute is grounded. Pull yourself up vertically, unwind the body, keep those arms lengthened, keep the legs lengthened. And again, if you're tight in the back line, hamstrings, lower back, etc., you can elevate your hips like we would do for spine stretch earlier. Whatever you're doing, though, try not to lean over to the left as you pivot and take that rotation to the left. Keep the opposite side grounded. Do one more set, spiral and dive. Pull the head out towards the fingertips. Reach the back arm long and across the body, pulling the shoulder back to the opposite side of the spine. Coming up, and then we do one last spiral here. See how far you can go and how much you can rotate. It's not just about dropping your head to your knee. It's about getting the rotation as you lift your belly and curve the spine here. Coming all the way up, come center, and then lower the arms down. Legs together and flip over onto your stomach here for your swan. Where it floats off the mat, hands by your armpits. Stretch the legs out long. They can be a little apart, which is easier for your back. Now pull back with the heel of your hands. Pull the eyes and the chest forward. You can push through your arms, but you lift from your back as well, and then slowly come down, lowering from the lowest part of your spine all the way up to the top, and look down at the ground and slightly forward. So pull the arms and the elbows back and in. Let's lift. You're trying to expand the collarbones and knit the blades together and drop them towards your tail. And then release your body down. The neck lengthens here at the end. And one more. Only go up as high as you feel that your back is comfortable and happy with this. You don't want to be like crunching into your low back. Usually if you do that, it's because you're just pushing straight up and not coming forward at all. And then we prop ourselves up on our forearms, pushing down with the arms and pulling the chest forward to feel the stretch in the abdominal wall. Kick the right heel in once, twice, 1, 2, and down then the left, pulsing 1 and 2. Continue this. Every beat, alternating the legs, gives you the opportunity to stretch out your quad. And as you press the pelvic girdle into the ground, you're also, for most of us, giving ourselves a chance to open and lengthen the psoas muscle, your main hip flexor. And that's because usually they're so tight that the butt would be lifted in the air a little bit. When you're trying to be here prone, looking down, and this kind of a stretch gives you that feeling of length in the tissue from the knee up to really the base of the rib cage. And then after that, we'll go ahead and lay down, turning the hip to the right, overlapping the hands high on the back, and then letting the elbows fall. Take a deep breath in, 3 beats with both legs, pulsing 1, 2, 3. Push your feet into the ground, reach the arms back, lift the chest, you're in that extension again, going down to turn left, elbows fall, and you pulse 3 times. Want you to overpoint your feet here. If you're really tight across the top of the foot and the shin, you could add a rolled up towel or yoga mat underneath your ankles. Or like I'm on an elevated mat, I could slide my feet off the end of the mat to give myself the same laxity there to accommodate the tightness across the top of a foot or tightness in the shin. And then all the way down. Let's do one more set, 3 beats. Pumping the air out of the lungs with each pulse. Reach the arms back. You can pull them together to open the chest more. And then down you go, pulsing out. And then bringing the legs down. Take your hands by your armpits, push up, and sit back in a child's pose. Round your back, drop your head, curl your spine here. Try to pull the tail towards the nose and vice versa. And then we articulate up with the spine. Of course, it's only as if your knees are healthy. Otherwise, you could lay on your back and get the stretch there. And then come all the way up. We turn around for neck pull. Feet are apart 4 to 5 inches. Elevate the rib cage off the pelvis. Use your hands to the base of the skull to lift the skull up and pull the elbows up as well. You lean back with a neutral spine like you're in a plank. Let your body rest actually on an imaginary plank. Then you curl the tail up and you roll the spine down. Come all the way down, resting the head. We can punch the fist into the opposite hand, straight line, elbow to elbow, lift and dive over, hands behind the head, curve the body forward and lengthen out the head between the feet. Stacking the spine, coming all the way up here, rising here, and then we lean back again. Before you feel like your back will arch, you curl and you go into the ground, lifting the tail first and then releasing the spine to the floor. Coming up, you can switch fist into hand, push actively in to activate the muscles around the chest, and then dive forward. That would include the oblique abdominals, which is really helpful when you do this exercise. Again, the deep bend forward, you might bend the knees, that's fine until you don't need to anymore. And then come all the way up and lean back. This one, because of the tilt back, you're not able to elevate the hips because then you could really hurt your back moving forward and up. Just bend the knees if you need that assistance when you're sitting up through center. Dive over, pull the neck long, and then roll the spine up an imaginary wall. Lift your head, feel the length in your waist, and last time bringing it down. Push out through your legs, and then we roll to the ground. The arms move forward, the feet move back for bridge. And we stand in the arms, starting with a pelvic tuck. Curve the tail forward, push the knees forward and over your toes. As you come up, you'll press the top of the shoulders into the mat underneath you and maybe roll to the outer arm to pick your chest up higher and then give yourself a little additional boost up with the glutes. Push down with your feet and resist the knees. They want to fall open. Use your inner thighs to keep them in alignment parallel to each other. Now to roll out of it, roll to the inner arms, the top of the shoulders curve off the ground so that you can widen the shoulder blades and pull your spine down from the top of your shoulders all the way down to the tailbone. Once the tail settles, feel how your body rocks. The pelvis rocks a little bit so the waist is off the floor. And then as you lift your tail up, you're engaging the low abdominals, you're pulling the pubic bone towards the navel. And then you come up and you move that tail forward and up as you push down into the top of the shoulders, the outer arm. Get the lift of the chest, really work it and push your feet down as you push the glutes up with your, you push the glutes up to open the hip bones high to the ceiling. And then let's bring it on down. Melt the body down between the scapula, articulate down all the way. Sink down slowly, and at the end, the tail settles and the waistline releases. One more like this. Press into your legs. We're going to rise and do some marching up at the top. So come all the way up here, push down into your legs, find the inside line of your legs. And if you're just practicing this part, the up and down, you could always put a ball between your legs. However, for marching, you wouldn't be able to use that. So push the arms down. Let's pick up the right knee and then lower it down. See if you can lift the knee and sort of in your mind, lift the pelvic half on that side, alternating the legs. And we pick the leg up, and you don't want to just like collapse it, like it doesn't fall to the ground, but you lower it so you keep the control from your deep hip flexor, your psoas. So it draws the knee up and in, and then it releases it out and down. One more set. Keep the back of the arms active. That will also help engage your lats to keep your hips elevated. Gazes up and back, never looking down, never looking to the side when the pelvis is up in the air. And then roll yourself down. We just want to be sure that you're not twisting the neck when you're putting weight through it. Okay, from here, let's come up to sitting or spine stretch. So you can pull a leg into your chest. The other leg can reach forward and out, and then you can push the legs forward to come up, flexing the feet, sitting tall, elevate your hips if necessary, arms out to the side. Reach long through the fingertips, reach up through the top, the center of your head through your halo, and rotate to the right. Pulsing here, 1, 2, 3, lift center, and then twist. One of my clients who was a PT was interested that we call the spine twist, because when you first learn the exercise, it's really common for the hips to shift and one leg to appear longer than the other, because we're not really stabilizing through the pelvic girdle when we first learn it. Try to hold the legs still, and then think of moving from the tail all the way up through the spine. So the spine is spinning, but you're not rotating the pelvic halves. We're sliding one forward and the other one back. That will keep the legs steady. In Pilates, often we're figuring out, where do you stabilize, where do you mobilize? And here the mobilization happens in the spine, not in the hips. Come back to center and lower the arms down. We'll lay our spines down. You can roll back. And now for jackknife. If this is new to you, elevate your hips is really helpful, or you can watch this to learn, or do a previous exercise. Good idea to bend the knees in, pick up the feet, then lift the legs up to the ceiling. And we're going to bring the body up and the legs over the face. So you press to the arms, you go over first, and then lift the legs up high. And then let's lower the spine, pressing into the arms. Work the spine down 1 inch, 1 vertebra after the next. Actually move a little forward. Wasn't sure how close the wall was. And then let's lift again. So you can take the legs a little forward, so you got a little bit of momentum here. And then press to the arms to push the legs overhead. So when you first learn this exercise, the legs come over parallel to the ground. And then you would shoot the legs up in the air after you've learned to do that. Then lower the legs and then bring the spine down, trying to keep the legs as close to your body as you can. And you'll feel that stretch in your spine. And then you'll feel the work in the abs as you take the legs forward. The abs working to keep the pelvis level. And then as you advance, you're going to go over and take the legs up higher initially. And then keep them elevated. So you're opening the angle here at the hips in the more advanced versions of this. And then you bring your spine down. Now the hips will start to close as the hips get closer to the floor. And then you push the legs out and away again. Let's do one more. So lifting the legs, inhale, and then exhale. At the most advanced version, it's just an inhale up and an exhale down. Because we've picked up the pace substantially at the advanced work, you like double the amount of exercises that you would do within that hour of your class. Fold the knees down, and then we'll lay over onto the side facing the camera. You want to be back near the back edge of your mat with your hips and your shoulders. The legs move forward on maybe a 30-degree angle. At this level, at the beginner intermediate level, your top hand presses in front of your chest to help you stabilize the body and prevent it from rocking forward and back. Most advanced, hands behind the head. Lift the top leg up, reach out through the heel, and then you slide the leg forward, pressing 1, 2, point the foot, take it back, and pulse back 1 and 2. I'm going to move a little bit more into camera range with my feet. And here we go. So lifting and bring it back. Go forward first, flexing the foot so the toes are back to the shin. Point the foot, exhale, and take the leg behind you. Try to reach your foot for the wall behind you without rocking the torso forward. Flex to go forward, double pulse. Point to go back and double pulse. Bottom leg really presses into the ground to help your stability. You can even use your supporting arm here under your head. Pull that elbow in towards your armpit. More stabilization. Come back to center. Rotate the leg externally. Point to lift the leg up and then flex and pull the leg down. Point to lift, flex and close. Point, let it rise, flex and sink it down. One more like that. Reach in a high arc. Stretch out longer on the way to the floor. Now flex and lift and point and stretch. So the second set of 3, we reverse the foot. And it could be a set of 3, 4, 5. We're choosing 3 to get through the series in time. And now we're going to pull the leg in développé, pull the knee to the shoulder, extend the foot up, flex the foot at the ankle and reach the heel to the heel. Point and glide it in. Knee up and in, extend the leg, flex and reach out and down. Sweep it long, control its descent. Pull it in, lift, extend, flex, push away, reach out like you're painting the wall in front of you and go up high. Point the foot, bend the knee into your shoulder, toes touch down on the upper thigh, and you slide that foot down the bottom leg, end with a flexed foot, and flexion at the ankle, dorsiflexion. And then reach it longer every time. Try to feel that stretch into your waist all the way up to the armpit. Last one. Point, bend, the gaze is forward. Nod at your leg. Now we do rond de jambe, big circle. You bring the leg forward, exhale, up, back, around, and through center. Take your time so you feel the work. Reach it up. And you also want to feel the rotation of the leg here. It's called circumduction. It's removing the femur on the hip joint. It's not only that the foot draws a circle in the air, the leg itself rotates on the socket. Let's take the leg back. Then you rotate it externally. At the top, start to rotate internally, so it's at neutral at the top. A little internal rotation as it comes downhill, and then back to neutral at the midline. Rotate externally, start to rotate internally from that external rotation, and back to center. Okay, so from here, we'll do figure 4. Pull that foot in, hold onto the ankle, lift the bottom leg up, and then pull the bottom leg down. The straight leg lifts and rises from the upper inner thigh. One more. And lift, hold it up, and circle around it up. 1 and 2 and 3. Bring it up, reverse the circle. 1 and 2 and 3. Lift it, and then lower it down. And we're going to end with that for this part of the series. There's more, but not for today. And then overlap your hands, rest your forehead on your hands, lift the legs from the glutes, and you clap. This is called Grasshopper. Keep moving the legs. Don't just move the lower part of the leg from the knee. Try to work from your upper thighs, inner and outer, to lift the legs off the ground with the glutes and then pull the legs apart and together. And then we lower the legs down, child's pose again. Again, if your knees are an issue, you would roll on your back and just pull the knees into your chest. Stack the spine from the bottom to the top. All the transitions should use good Pilates mechanics here. And then we stretch yourself out here, propping the head up, moving back towards the edge of your mat. You can check to be sure that your sacrum's in line with your shoulders. And then we press the legs forward at about a 30-degree angle, flexing the feet. Bring the top leg up, flex the foot. As you bring it forward, double pulse, 1, 2. Point the foot, take it back, reach back, pulse 1 and 2. Flex to bring it forward. Point and stretch it away. Feel how the bottom leg has to really push into the ground as it lengthens to hold you steady on your hip. Come back to center, we rotate externally. Point to go high and flex to go down. Point and lift, flex and down. Or if you wanted a challenge, you could try taking your hands, both hands to the back of your skull. Now flex to lift and point to go down. This one's not that hard to do it at because the legs are staying in the same plane. The one that would be really difficult would be your rond de jambe, the big circles. And now développé. So you bend the knee, you slide the knee up, you pull the foot in, Knee to the shoulder, foot to the sky, flex and reach out and down, stretch the legs. And you draw it in, extend, flex and push it away from you. One more. All the way down to tap and reverse. Go up, point the foot, bend the knee, skate that leg down, skim it out, lengthen here to lift, point and bend and reach it out. Getting a lot of work through the whole leg chain, muscles and joints. All the way forward to the end and rond de jambe. So you bring the leg forward, up, back, around, and through center. Complete the circle and do it again. Push into your arm when you really need extra support here to prevent the body from tipping either forward or back. Remember, the torso is going to want to go in the opposite direction from the leg. And then let's reverse. It's not only the tightness that does it, it could just be like your coordination, your timing that makes your body less stable. So this is why we practice, right? To improve both the flexibility, strength, and the coordination of the movements in time and in space. All right, figure 4. We're going to pull that foot in, push the knee away, and then bring the bottom leg up and then down. Lift it here and lower it with control. So you're not throwing it up and then dropping it. You're working it up and then lowering it. Lift and hold, and we circle around and up 1 and 2 and 3. Bring it high, reverse the circles 1 and 2 and then 3 to lift it up and lower it down. Good. And then extend the legs out. I think I'm going to turn to the other side of the mat. And we're working here on our teasers. So let's start rocking back on the sacrum, curling the tail up so you find your balance point. Lift your toes up, even with your eyes here, sort of even with your knees. And you round the spine, you curve the elbows forward and out. So you can sort of hammock your body back, your belly into your spine. Now from here, as you push the legs away, you're going to start to roll the spine down. Your hands can slide towards your sits bones as you go out. And then pull the legs in as you bring your torso to your legs and vice versa. Very important here, there's a lot of load being suspended from your spine. The weight of your legs are attached directly to your lower lumbar vertebra and the intervertebral disc. So you only go out as far as you really feel your back is safe, right? Eventually you would get the heels down and the shoulders touch, and then lay your head down. And then you come forward, sliding the arms forward. You slide your hands along your legs while you're getting to understand this exercise and know how to support the movement here. Then eventually the arms are forward and not connected. The legs would be straight, and you would go all the way down. Find the timing so the heels touch when the blades do. Go to the ground and then lift again. Scoop the arms alongside the body to bring yourself up into your full teaser, and then you release it on down once more. So whichever variation you do, you can limit the range of motion, keep yourself safe. That's the main thing, and challenge. That's the other main thing. And now from here, let's go ahead and bend the knees, reach back to rest back on your elbows, and then pull your waist back so that you find a little more pelvic tuck and a feeling of length in that sacral area. Pull one knee in, then the other for hip circles. We're lifting the legs up to the ceiling. Bend the knees as necessary. Now we circle legs over to the right, around and to the left. Complete the circle at the top, and then go left, circle, down, around, and to the right. So yes, you're correct. It's like single leg circles. It's also like corkscrew. More difficult because we're pushing the arms down and pulling the head up. And holding the legs up in the air like this without a TheraBand is a lot more work. You could, while you're learning it, put a band around your feet and then hold on, the elbows still grounded. We're going to end from left to right. And then release the legs, slide them down the mat, and we'll flip over onto our stomachs here for swimming. The arms reach forward, the legs reach back. Let's pull back from the armpits, pull the chest up, and just start kicking the legs. From the glutes, again, straight legs, not kicking from your knees, right? You're kicking from the butt cheek. You'll feel that. And then you can add one arm up and down, alternating the arms. When you feel strong in this, you can take both arms up, or even if you don't feel strong in it, you can take the arms up and the legs up and do your alternate pulsing here. And then stretch it out. lower down, child's pose again. It is a lot of work in the back line, so it's a great idea to do the child's pose to stretch that out after working it. And now stack the spine, coming upright, turning over to face the short end of your mat for seal. So the hands go between the knees, they're open. You wrap your hands around your shins right over the ankles, lift the tail, round your back, look down, you're in a C-curve spine, like rolling like a ball, and open like balance and rocker that we did earlier. And now from here, we open and close the legs. As you exhale, pulse the legs together and apart 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Look down at your belly, push the arms and the legs into each other, go back to your shoulder blades and try to pause there and clap. And then come forward and clap when you're balanced on your sacrum. So we roll back, lifting the tail, eventually trying for 3 pulses. You might only make 1 clap, you might make 2, you might make 3. It varies for me too. And after a few of them, I can pretty consistently do 3, but some people do that the first time they try it. It's more of a journey for me and maybe for you as well. Let's do one more like this. And then come up and then we can lower the leg. So just have a couple minutes. So I'm going to have you come up to standing and we're doing, this is not a traditional exercise. This is just a variation sort of on something that we do on the Pilates equipment called elephant. It's a deep forward fold. And the reason I like this for people who are tight in their back line is it really starts to open up the back of their legs. So stand at the end of your mat, circle the arms up to the ceiling. You can look up and do a little upper back extension, then dive forward, head, neck, shoulders. You're doing a roll down, just like you did a roll up on the mat at the very beginning of the session. Now you're doing a roll down. Try to get the palms to the floor. You bend your knees as necessary. Walk your hands out about halfway down the mat. And then walk your feet in. Hang your head low. Knees bent as much as you need to feel that you're comfortable in your back, but get a stretch that works for you. And then walk your hands forward again. And then walk your feet towards your hands. I know it's not really graceful, it's very awkward. And then you hang your head low here, the shoulder blades sliding around to the side of your body. Now press into your hands and walk your feet back. And then we're walking the hands back towards the feet. And then walk your feet back again. Get your feet parallel. Walk your hands in towards your toes. Hang your head low. Stretch out that back line. Then you will probably want to bend your knees, spread your feet, and push the ground away. And just let the arms dangle as you curl the tail under and stack your spine from the bottom to the top. Okay. So thank you so much for joining class with me again. And like I said, use the YouTube channel for Swarthmore to practice Pilates for the next few weeks when we're not doing this class live. And I'll be back seeing you live on